Are you aware that when you walk into a space, any space, that space will change? You stepped into that space and you brought something with you. The question is, what did you bring with you? Did that room go, what just happened? Or did it go, oh wow, I'm liking this? What happens when you step into a space? Are you aware? Do you pay attention to that? What you bring with you matters every moment. And by having a level of self-awareness, you naturally can become a peacemaker by consciously choosing, what am I bringing with me in this moment, right now? Many years ago, I used to skydive for fun. I thought it was for fun. It was a deep, deep preparation and training that I wasn't even aware of at the time. And one day, as I was doing my 4th jump for the day, I had a transformational experience. For some reason, I had to pull my reserve parachute. We have 2. And I pulled the reserve, it came out beautifully, and I relaxed, and then it collapsed. It broke. And when you use your 2nd parachute, there's no other option. That's it. And I'm falling fast, and I can see the ground coming towards me, and I'm terrified. I'm 30 years at the time, and I've had my fair share of experiences, close calls in different ways. Nothing like this. When the body knows that it's dying, it's no longer a fear in the mind. It's physical. The animal, this body, knows it's about to die. And there is nothing but fear. There is no space for thinking or reflection. There is just fear, pure terror. It felt like forever, and then something changed. I'm still falling, tumbling to my death, but I'm at complete peace. Peace is not a good word. I just don't know a better word. Maybe grace, maybe acceptance. I knew I was okay. And that had nothing to do with knowing that I would survive, which obviously I did. I'm here with you today. It was a complete acceptance of what is. In this moment, this is happening, and it's okay. And I knew I'm okay. My body is about to die. It's irrelevant for me. If I live in this body or not is irrelevant. So the concept of us not being our body, mind, and emotions, I knew the concept. I thought I lived it. No. Having that moment when I really, truly got to experience, I am not this physical form, changed everything. I knew it. I'm not this form. This body is about to die, and I'm fine. Obviously, I survived. That's a whole different story. What had happened before I actually jumped out of the plane, in the plane on the way up, I had had a vision. I've had that throughout my life. And this time, I had seen myself doing my jump and this reserve breaking. Oh, and I still jumped, yes. Who knows? I never even questioned not jumping out. I did. But I saw the whole thing in the plane before it happened. And as that story was playing in my mind, I knew I had to make a choice. Do I want to live or do I want to die? And if you had asked me on the ground, I would have said, take me home. I'm out of here. I was miserable. But faced with the actual choice in the plane, in the dream, I realized, no, I want to live, but I want to live, like really live. And I could see, like a hologram, I could see my life, how I was alive, but I wasn't living fully. I was like a ghost walking, and I was victimized by life, and all the kind of stories we can tell of how we're not living full out. I was doing all of them. And I saw that, but there was no judgment. It was just a clear knowing of, oh my God, I need to live my life. And I made a choice in that plane in a way I had never made a choice before, like fully present with all the power of my being. yes, I want to live. And I added this little sentence, knowing that surviving something like this is not common. And if you do, you end up in a wheelchair or broken in many pieces. And I didn't want that. So I added, and I will survive with a very healthy body. And it happened. No one knows how I could survive. It's just a complete miracle, but I did. And it changed everything for two reasons. First, I got to experience myself as what we all truly are, energy, spirits, whatever you want to call it. And I got to see how I have the power of choice. I made a choice, and life responded accordingly. It was mind-blowing because I felt so victimized in my life. But when I was fully present in myself, when my mind had left, checked out, and I was here, the energy of that which I really am, when that had a possibility of making a choice, life responded like that. I now knew it's possible to live in peace when you're falling to your death. Why would I ever let a comment from a boyfriend or the loss of a job or lack of money worry me? It became so silly. I still did. My mind was still telling those stories, but I knew this is silly. How can I come back to living that I had experienced? And that took a long time and many teachers. But once I made that choice, this is what I want. I want to live like that. I want to be able to live with that peace in every moment of my life, regardless of what's going on around me, like falling to my death. Once I made that choice, things started coming my way. Books, movies, people, teachers, experiences, some great, some really challenging, but all leading me to finding my way back to that peace. We're all energetic beings, and what we carry with us vibrates out. There is no end. My body might end here, but I don't end here. So whatever I show up with reverberates out and affects everything. So if I don't pay attention to what's here, I unconsciously start creating a lot of things. So if we look at the state of the world today, well, really, the world itself is always at its core completely in harmony, in balance. That's a natural state for our world, for our planet. Animals, nature, even us, we're just another species. We're created to live in complete balance, but somehow we made a mess of it. And we have wars and global warming and corruption and all that stuff going on. And we're always talking about it as something out there. They need to change. This needs to be done. But if you talk with the people who live in peace, indigenous groups of people, monks, whoever live in peace, they all start here. They all start here. All of them start here. We have big groups of people holding space for peace and harmony in the world. They spend hours chanting, praying, doing ceremony, bringing themselves into a place of peace, and then sending it out into the world, working for us, for all of us who are not paying attention to what's coming out. We spent some time with the wolves, and we realized how they live that way, how they self-regulate when something is coming up. And we've talked a lot about energy. There's different ways of talking around it. Fear is a very low vibration. Love is a very high vibration. That is not the same as high energy. Like, yay! That's high energy, which helps bring high energy into space, and that's fantastic. But it's not the same as a high vibration. Same with frequency. You can use sound to raise the feeling in a room. That's the frequency. What I'm talking about is more of the vibration. Fear is really low, love is very high. And you have the choice. What are you carrying with you at all times. And that's been my journey since that day many years ago when I, just like that, was right in peace in the middle of an incredibly scary situation. And finding my way back to that has been my passion. And that's what I do now. I have a program I call Rise in Love, which is finding your way back to being in love. Not with something out there, in here. And if you have that love just beaming from you, you naturally become a peacemaker. And that's what I would like to invite all of you. Join me and be a peacemaker in this world. Let's create a global movement of peacemakers and change the world inside out.